When life flashes before your eyes, you better be sure that's something you want to watch. Basically what that means is when you reflect back on your life, on your deathbed, when you're old, when you can't do anymore, you better make sure that's something that you really want to be proud of. Because you only have one life. That's it. One life. And in that life, you better be sure that everything that you do in it has to be 100% of your maximum potential, regardless of who cares or who hates on you or who says you can't do it. Because if you got one thing I want you to understand is when you look at your life and if everybody likes you, that must mean that you're living too cautious. You're being too careful. You want everybody to like you. But when you live outside your comfort zone and become more than what you were yesterday or a year ago, you're going to start to create some enemies. People are not going to like you, but that's okay. Because now you've entered into a zone of the minority of the world who actually decides to attack their greatness, to capture who they are, to go after what they're meant for. Because nothing in life is greater than the day you were born and the day you found out the reason why you were born. And when you become more and you strive to be more, the circle of friends that you were once around are going to look at you different. They're going to think that you think you're better than them, right? Even though you never said nothing, but you're just trying to make yourself better. But the circle of friends that you were around or were around are going to start saying you high sedity or you can't do it and make fun of you because you've entered into the zone of minority. And when you're a minority, everybody's not like you. So what you have to do is either transform that circle of friends or find a new circle of friends to influence you. Preferably when you find a new circle of friends, you got to find people who are greater than what you're trying to be so you can strive to be something more. Just like if you're running in a race, if you always win that race, you always beating those people, what do you have to strive for? It's easy. So you don't really have nothing to train harder for. But when you're running, there's people who are next to you who are better than you. That makes you want to go harder. That makes you want to train more. Just like in life. If you're around a circle of people who want to be more than what they are, you're going to want to be more than what you are because you don't want to be the minority in that circle. Okay? So you have to find more people that are like you. If your goal is health and you're around people who always are eating garbage all the time, eating garbage, drinking, doing what they do, then I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with that. That's just what you do. That ain't what I do. So being that you want to be something more, either you try to, gather your willpower and not do it, or you find a new circle of friends, that is like more of you. And it's very hard to kind of live with that. You got to find new friends and all that stuff because you might say like, listen, I don't make new friends well, you got to figure it out because either you're going to be alone or you're going to be uncomfortable in a circle of friends that you're around. And people, as you step outside of your box, because every single person, whether you attack your greatness or not, everybody has something that God gave them that they're just great at, that you just are good at. I don't care if it's baking cakes. I don't care if it's climbing mountain. I don't care if it's painting a wall. And I don't care if it's fitness. You have something that you are great in that most people aren't great in. And once you attack that, either you run from it because you're afraid of the pretty much adversity that it will bring, because I can guarantee you, once you find out what you're good at and you want to attack it and the people that you are around aren't like that, it's going to bring certain adversity. It will bring adversity, and a lot of people find out and they get a little bit of resistance from their life and then they run from it, so they never truly find out how great they are. Well, I'm here to tell you that if you do not run from your greatness, you will become much more than what you are today. And once you get there at the end of the tunnel, because there is light there at the end of the tunnel, even if you're going through massive amounts of adversity and struggle, keep on doing it until it's done. When you get there, you'll be glad you did it and you'll wonder what took you so long. And that's the greatest thing about it. Like, what took me so long to get to this point? What was I afraid of? Fear. False evidence appearing real. It's not real. It's in your mind. Everything is in your mind. Everything. You gotta stop caring what people say. Listen, when I started doing these videos, before I wanted to do these a year ago, but I was always afraid. So I gave people motivation to do things and never knew the impact on what I did. So now I don't care how I feel. I don't care what I'm using. I don't care how I look. I'm going to get the message out, because if that one person is affected from this message, I did my job. I did my job. And you got to look at it like that. If I don't attack my goal, whose life didn't I save? Who didn't I help? Who needed me that could have died without whatever I give that person? If you want to be a pastor, if you want to be a fitness guy, if you want to be a motivational speaker, if you want to be a hairdresser, if you want to be a barber, if you want to be anything, right? If you don't attack your goals, you affect somebody else by not attacking it. By not attacking it. You don't just affect you, you affect other people that could have been influenced by your power that you have within you. Because you already came in this earth under massive adversity. Millions were trying to get to that egg, and you were the one that made it. So you're already a miracle to start out with. But here's the problem. After that point, you have a choice whether you want to be the greater version of yourself or the mediocre version of yourself. And everybody has a version they attack. The problem is, in the world, most people attack the mediocre side of yourself with your thinking, with your choices, with your decision. You hold yourself back. You let other people hold you back. You can no longer let other people hold you back. Because 9 times out of 10, here's the funny thing about this one. Right, let me sit up for this one. When you hit your goals, guess what those people who were hating on you are going to say? I knew he could do it. I knew he could do it. I knew he or she could do it. Right? That's what they say all the time. You know what? I knew that. I knew when such and such started this, then they could always be that when they're there. Right? But look who's going to be with you when you start, when you struggle. Most people won't ride out that wave with you, because you have to believe in yourself more than anybody else. Because that person who believes in themselves, right, more than anybody else, will eventually change the minds of everybody around them by their own self-belief. But if you listen to your outsiders who don't see what you see, you will never get what you have coming to you. You will never, ever be what you're created to be. And you will always be comfortable and have friends everywhere. Life will be nice and comfortable. Everybody will like you. But at the end of the day, you knew you had a diamond inside of you, a ruby inside of you, a gold mine inside of you, and you never cashed it in. All right? So you have to start looking at life different. Look at life different. Take life different. You have the same 24 hours in a day as Oprah, Bill Gates, Steve Jobs, Mark Zuckerberg, or anybody you want to be like or strive to be like or use as motivation. You have the same 24 hours in a day. I'm telling you right now. I'm telling you right now, you have it in you. If you don't do it, you'll never know. Listen, if you tried, you at least tried, because failure is really not failure. I used to look at failure like, dang, I failed. But every time I seemed to fail, it redirected me to something else that was greater than last time. If you look at your failure different, or what they call failure different, I call failure redirection. Start calling failure redirection. It's really redirection, right? It's really redirection. So if you look at that different as redirection, you will take it a little differently and you won't let it discourage you as much. You know, when people seem to use the word failure, they kind of quit. A lot of people quit when they fail. A lot of people quit when they fail. A lot of people quit. I quit a few times. No. Yeah, I did. I quit for a little while and I got back to it, and it redirected me to something greater when I understood what the purpose of this experience was. Everything is an experience. Everything you are learning to becoming something more. And once you say it to yourself and look in the mirror and actually believe it, the universe will get out your way. It will move out your way. And then things will start to happen to you, for you. So if you want to do something and people go from you, that was supposed to happen. If you don't do this, your failure rate has to increase. You have to actually fail more so you can get to go a little faster. So try things all the time and fail until you finally get it. Because the most successful people in the world were the biggest failures in life. They just got tired of failing. They just got redirected until they finally succeeded. And you got to have the mental fortitude and the willpower to become that person. If you're not, you're going to be on your deathbed. You're going to regret. You're not going to reminisce and smile. You're going to regret that you didn't do what you were made for. Everybody, do what you're made for. Because once you look at life different, the things you look at will change. Everything will change. So once what was acceptable to you is no longer acceptable to you. The same friends, they were acceptable to you, but everything else, your life looks different now. Things look different. So you look at them a little different now. You don't look down on them. You just look at, this is not where I'm going in life, and that's okay. We gotta part ways. We'll associate, but I have to do something for me. I gotta do something for me. All right. So do something for yourself. No regrets, people. No regrets.